to see whether there's been more erosion of the dune, and oh my word, it's come big time. And as I stand up here, remember, that is the dune over there. Look how close it is now to the dune that had the pole on it. That has to be close to probably about 20 meters, and we're there. And it was a prediction that I made, and I don't like making predictions because I often get kicked in the teeth, but I tell you what, this one has definitely worked out like that. So there's going to be some really interesting formations forming in the next while, and what we need is some more heavy seas. And when I say heavy, probably more with high energy, and that high energy, but also the downside is we just come through a spring, we're going into neeps, so you're not going to get that massive energy. But there's a massive difference here. Really interesting. I mean, this bank here is probably 4 meters high from the top to the water, and it's still eroding away as we speak. Now folks, I've moved to the top of the dune, and you can see how it's been eroded here. And so the reason why I came up here, because if you look at this high water mark that's run across here, that's the second mouth, inverted commas. For those of you that follow my post religiously, you'll understand what I'm saying. And as I zoom down to the bottom there, that black thing sticking out there, that's the old pole that had the wheel on it that we used as a marker. And so that was where the second mouth, inverted commas. So really interesting formation that is formed here. And it's going to be interesting to monitor it and see how it develops and how it changes. But yeah, that log there and that dune on the top there, to the right of it, that's where the pole was that I always used to use as a marker that had the beware of the crocodile sign on it. Oh, absolutely incredible how this whole formation has changed over time. And like I always say, only time will tell. Interesting times ahead. So when I saw the mouth this morning on the high tide, it blew my mind, to be honest, as to how much it's changed. And so I decided to come down this afternoon on the low tide. And this is the second mouth, inverted commas, folks. And you'll remember from the video from this morning, I used that marker. You can see here it is. Yeah, obviously the wheel is gone, but it's laying here. And I was standing on top of that dune over there. And I'm going to go now on the low tide around to the front and see what it looks like now. Now I've come up to this spot that I keep mentioning earlier, and here's the pole lying here. And it was on top of this dune with a marker on it saying, beware of the hippos and the crocs. And very often in the old days, I used to stand on top of this dune, showing the water gushing over the top and into the lake system. And I'm just going to scan around, so again you can just get an idea where I am. So there's the ski boat club over there. And I'm standing on top of this dune. And so in the old days, straight at the end of this dune here, the mouth used to come straight. You can see the water from the Umfolozi there, and the water used to flow past this dune. And if I stand here, you can see how close it is to having the very similar formation. And again I go across to where I was standing this morning on the high tide. I was standing on that dune there. This is the spot right here in front of me where the guys launched in the Nationals. It's absolutely incredible how nature's just doing its thing and changing the landscape, if I can use that term. Incredible. So I'm zooming into the spot where I was standing, and you can see there was a flow of salt water over the top on the high tide. You can see that brown darkish mark. So we are moving away from the spring tides. We're heading towards neap, so it's not going to be as aggressive as it was over the springs, but next springs it'll be really interesting to see once again the changes. But that southern bank or eastern bank across the way there, that has grown significantly and it's got quite high, but water has come over the top. I'm going to head down now to the confluence. I've got now to the confluence here, and I must say the sand is super soft and really difficult to ride, to be honest. And you can see the amount of water in here, even on the low tide, is amazing to see. It looks like there's a storm out there. This is where a lot of this fresh water comes from, so hopefully there is some rain out there. So on the high tide I know that there's clean color water coming in from the sea, and it gets to about here, and then you get the color line between the two. And the sand is really soft. You can see that people's footprints are nice and deep. But I wanted to ride so that you folks can see what I'm seeing. You can see it's quite wide here. There's like a basin, and then it starts to narrow out as the water starts to head out towards the sea. I'm testing my bike handling skills here. Yeah, you can see it starts to get really steep, and I don't think I'm gonna make it past this here. But I just stopped. I'm just going to zoom into that bank. You can see how high it is. I'm guessing 2 to 2.5 meters. That bank, and like I say, the bank on the eastern side here of me, on my right hand side, is growing. But the water does come over there on the high tide. Right, I've come up to the top of the dune now, and I'm going to head towards the mouth area. But I just wanted to show you the distance where I'm standing until you get to the mouth area. Alright, so that half moon shaped dune there, that is where the water goes around there, and it's been eroded away quite significantly. I'm going to try and ride to the bottom there, and so you can try and see the height of the dune compared to the water level. That's where I've just come from, and basically that little pinnacle in the middle of the screen where the bird has just landed, that's where I was, and I've come around the corner to this side where I can ride. And once again from here you can see there's a significant drop off, and even on that side there, so the sand below, the flow of the waters still eroding sand away all the time. I'm just going to ride along again, folks, so you can see lots of debris around still. But this is the low tide, so still very, very strong flow of water going through here, which is incredible to see. You know, and I'll share a photograph that I got from Lundi, where The Umfolozi is still flowing even though it's winter time. So I reached the spot here, and again you can see how high this is on my left. Park my bike at the base here so you can see, and then you can see how the flow is extremely strong still, and obviously it's just as the flow is so strong, so the erosion just continues. And that's what I was waiting for. As I continue my trip around this dune, I say I've got to try and keep my balance at the same time as I'm filming. You can see it's quite deep. Lovely bank out here. On the low tide, some people said to me, oh no, we'll easily be able to walk across on the low tide. I guess not. So this is where the boats have been launching, and you can see the channel that runs across here.